who is going to police the police. It is going to be us. It is going to be black men that are willing to stand up and take responsibility. If we as black men cannot protect our women and children, then we do not deserve to live, period.
That's right.
And so we need to stand up and get a backbone and back our community and protect our community.
Right.
So we are going to police our communities. Mr. Law.
Thank you, Minister. If you could give us your name for the record, please.
My name is Pamela from East Boston. I'm the lady from the newspaper from the court. I'm the mother of Joshua and Jasmine Martin, Copeland. I was driving into the Shadyside area on my way to my son's football game, which started at 11. I proceeded to go down Walnut, in Walnut area, the plaza. The officer stopped me on Kentucky near Neckley. The officer then proceeded to get out of his automobile and come to the rear of my car. When he got to the rear of my car, he began to come to my passenger side. And at that time, the officer proceeded to stand back from my door, which my daughter sat in the front seat. He began to tell me to get my hands up. At first it shocked me because I didn't know what was wrong. He told me to put my hands up. I put my hands up the second time after he asked me to. I did. And when he did, he pulled his gun. And I began to ask him because my children began to cry. My daughter began to try to get out the seatbelt because she was trying to get back where her older sister was. I began to ask him to come to my side. He would not comply. So I began to scream for help because I didn't know what else to do. I felt embarrassed, but I knew my children's life was on the line. So I began to scream. And the more I screamed, the more he aimed his gun at my daughter's head. I began to ask him, did he have any children? And if he did, would he want me to point the gun in his child's face? He began to look and grit his teeth and told me if she moved again, he would shoot her. I began to beg and call on Jesus, my Savior. And as I began to call, a lady appeared on the balcony. And as I began to scream more and more, I began to realize that he was not going to stop. And then when I asked him, why was he doing this to me? He said, you will do what I say. I said, officer, I'm doing everything you asked me to do. This officer then told me he would blow my baby's brains out. I began to beg as my daughter, my oldest 8-year-old, threw the purse to show him my ID, which I apparently tried to do in the beginning, and he refused. Then my daughter begged to take the ID, and he still denied that right from my baby. And as she began to beg and scream, I began to click my door because I knew if he was going to kill anyone, it wasn't going to be anything that God gave me. I began to open the door and I was going to sling her out. But as I began to do so, my oldest daughter reached back and grabbed her out of the seat. I began to scream more and more, and that's when I realized that he had made up in his mind that that was going to be it for us. As I looked to my left, that's when I heard the other officers click their guns back because he also said I had a weapon in the car. As he did that, I began to tell them I have no gun. I have my babies in the car. Do not shoot. And the other officers realized that I was telling the truth, and they begged them to put their guns down. I leaped from the car, grabbed onto the other officer that was close to me. He began to tell me to take my hands off of him. I explained to him, I'm sorry, but he's trying to kill me and my baby. He tried to shoot my 7-year-old in her head. I said, please help me. Somebody help me. At that time, the lieutenant came on the scene. She grabbed me by my hands and began to drag me to the back of the van that was parked in front of my vehicle. I began to try to explain to her. She told me to shut up. I asked her, I said, do you have any children? She told me no. I said, then you can't tell me how to feel right now. I said, I need to go over where my baby is still screaming. What is going on? I want that officer away from my child. I want him away from my children, and I want him off the force. He tried to kill my children. She began to tell me that my kids were going to CYF. I told her she was out of her mind. My kids was not going anywhere. I wanted my family or somebody give me my phone. By this time, we're like 45 this thing that they had took me through. They didn't even know my name. The officer asked me who I was. I told him all the information that they need upon me was in my purse, which my baby and I tried to give the officer from the beginning. He did not want to accept it. I said, look in my purse, you'll see everything you need. By that time, they said, fine, you better find drugs or something. I told them there is no drugs. There was no weapon. This officer tried to kill me and my children. And the people came from the rehabilitation center there, or the rehab center, which start screaming and asking them to that the officer was wrong. And then they told them if I say anything else, I was going to jail and my kids was going to CYF. My thing of it was, I didn't know who to contact. Even though they said that these things were out here. Only thing I knew was that I needed to talk to somebody. And I kept calling, and I remember that the NAACP, I called them and they told me who to contact. The people from on the outside told me. I did not know who to contact, but I knew if I kept running my mouth, somebody would hear me. And I appreciate y'all hearing and listening to me tonight. Thank you.
Just for the record, Officer Eric Tusco, and that is the officer that held the gun to the 7-year-old child's head. According to Deborah Todd's article, there's an investigation. We want to know what is the status of this investigation. Has the police and anybody spoken to the 6 witnesses that Deborah Todd was able to produce for a story? The woman's name is Lieutenant Cindy Windsor. We believe that when you point a gun at the head of a 7-year-old girl, that's an act of terrorism. We believe these 2 officers should be suspended without pay until an investigation. When the investigation is proven, yeah, they should be fired. But not just fired, but they should be brought up on charges. And the charges against Ms. Lawton should be dropped. They produced charges against her. They should be dropped immediately. I believe that what she's went through is punishment enough.
This is Jamar Hammons here with UwebTV. I'm here with a very influential and powerful man in the city, Minister Jasiri X. Pretty much tell us what you're here for today.
Today we're here to support a sister, Ms. Pamela Lawton, who the police put a gun to her 7-year-old daughter's head and said they were going to blow the young lady's brains out as men. And of course, we were outraged. And we're here to show this sister that there are black men that are unafraid to stand up to terrorists in uniforms that are threatening our communities. Talk to some other people nationally, so we want to take this to the national, of course, the final call. And so, right. So we want to just put this out to the nation and let them know what's happening. Because when you have a 7-year-old girl with a gun pointed to her head, the policeman is still on the force. Come on, man. Something is wrong. So, thankfully, we got individuals like Kari Mosley that can talk to the politicians. We got individuals like Paradise Gray who can just fire down on the articles that he writes and has the presence as a member of X-Clan to get it out on a national scale. And so we're blessed to have the powerful brothers that are around us as well. So thank you.
They said a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and this is a man of motion. Minister Jasiri X, Jamar Hammons, UwebTV, one man, one vote.